Hi guys, Liam with Team Bazooka here, and we're going to be doing another AoM cast. Today we're doing another 2v2 on a random map. This time it's 3 Greeks versus 1 Norse. We'll go through the teams right quick here. We've got, with Team 1 is Saint Emmy, and he is playing as Hades. And his teammate down here, Pudingle, playing as Loki, and he's actually the only Norse character on the map right now. And over here on the right side we have the Team 2 Dogan, and he is playing as Hades also. And over here on the left, in the west, we have Draylen, who's playing as Poseidon. Seeing more and more Greeks lately, actually, and they do quite well. So always interesting, but we'll see if the Herseer here can make a difference. As I've mentioned before, Herseer always being a troubling unit to be facing off against. But it's going to be an interesting game, especially since, as a matter of fact, we have one here on the bottom, and we also have one here up on the top, instead of both being on the same side. So we'll see how that works out to everyone's advantage. Right now you can see, just by looking at the mini-map, it's everyone doing their scouting, sort of going by the same pattern too, really. For the most part, reminds me of some of the mini games in the earlier Mario Karts, or Mario Party, I should say. So right now, of course, with Age of Mythology, just going to do some scouting here. Not a lot going on. This is always sort of the same thing here. You know, AoM compared to other RTSs, a lot more of an economic focus. With StarCraft 2, it's a bit more fun early on in the game because you have you know, cheesy tactics from time to time, and you also have, you know, just a little bit more activity going on with the scouts. But for now, everyone's just getting their bearings, figuring out what's going on here. Teal recovering a couple of pigs to send back. That'll give him a, you know, benefit with the food. Make it a little bit, you know, increase the time before he'll have to start resorting to farms or sending his villagers out into the danger zone to recover more food. Right now we can see that Red is in the lead for food, and no temple built by Red yet though, but he should be able to pump one out as soon as he needs to advance. Gonna run out of his food supply here soon. He'll go over to the pigs, and that should give him more than enough to, you know, get to well, he's already at the 400 he needs to advance, but to go over it. Over here, Green is still only just halfway to his advancement, but he's starting to build his temple now. So by the time that's done, he should be ready. He should have the food supplies he needs. Blue, of course, already has his temple up, so he's ready to go. Let's see if he's actually advancing yet. Is he? No, he's not. But yes, there we go. So Blue looks like he's going to be the first one to advance. With Red is probably going to be going any second now, along with Green, because they're getting their temples up so that they can advance also. And now Green, Red still, you know, hunting down some animals here. And for the most part, I do prefer farms myself, but there's no denying that you're going to get food a lot faster by hunting and herding in the early game. You know, if you can resort to farms as late as possible, usually the better. So let's see, we got another operation down here for food with Teal. He's got his mining operation on the go right out of the gate. Still no temple on Teal. And the advancement is about to complete for Blue. For Green, he's just at 40%. And 50% here for Red, so he's just a little bit ahead. So far, you know, the situation seems to be going in Team 1's favor for the advancement, just because Teal's a little bit behind here. But he's going to have a better economy to show for it. Now, whether or not that economy is going to be a big enough improvement, you know, a big enough advantage, remains to be seen. But he's going to start advancing here any moment now anyway, because his temple just came online, and he definitely has the resources to advance. So, let's see. Now that we have everyone in the classical age, we're going to start seeing those military academies and those just general infantry barracks going up all over the place. And there they are. This guy's going with a stable. And, of course, Red here, going to be getting one of those longhouses any moment now. The interesting thing, going with the stables here, seems to suggest to me that Green is planning on doing more of a aggressive and harassing strategy. And this is not uncommon with the Greeks. I think on my last play, our last cast, we actually seen a similar strategy using Terma, or whatever, the Hippikon cavalry, the Greek variant there. And of course, Red getting his long post here, and Teal's going to see it, so Teal knows a little bit where he stands in comparison to Red. And here is Teal's Ajax hero. I'm wondering if... Oh, he's just recovering some relics here, and he got a good one here. Armory improvements are less expensive. That'll save him a lot of money. And there we go. The Hippikons are coming out from Green. And of course, Blue here making a little army as well. And Teal finally catching up. But he's not going to be too slow to show for it, though, because he's got his hero up, his myth unit. And, in order for, in this situation, even though he's a little bit behind, it would take, I think, a bit more of an army than what Red actually has anyway, or Blue, in order to break his defenses fully in that situation. And we can actually see here most of the map is explored, so that was some really good scouting that those guys did, very quickly finding out what's going on there. These Hippikons and, let's take a look here, Centaur are being built. Little army going to go in here, going to have a little scrap. Not sure if those blue units are going to survive, just because facing off with the green unit, plus the defenses here, like the watchtowers, going to put them at a disadvantage. But let's see how it goes. Green definitely sees Blue here, coming over to see what's up. And he's going to ride right past him. He's going to go see what damage he can do now in Blue's base, because Blue is obviously not going to be able to catch up to him. So he's just going to go ahead and stop right there and turn around and engage Blue anyway. Alright. He must not have seen them coming. He must have already had them sent there. Interesting. Teal, of course, still expanding towards Red, and Red towards him. Not too much going on so far. And Green and Blue are having a little fight here. The cavalry are going to be doing some good damage against those archers here, but the spearmen, the hoplites, are giving them a run for their money. Spearmen, of course, having a benefit against cavalry. So let's take a look here. Oh, this Centaur is doing a ton of damage too. Or not the Centaur, sorry, the Cyclops. Yeah, that seems to have made a lot of difference. I probably underestimated the efficiency of the hoplites versus the Hippikons here, because they definitely did a lot more damage, took a lot more hits as well. And now, another army built here already, and Blue still has his forward force. So I think this is starting to go a little bit in Blue's favor, on this front. An army being built here too, and you can see we got Axemen, very good weapons here. Axemen do a lot of damage, and with the Herseer to tank, this is going to be a formidable little army they've got set up here. But, the Toxotes are good against infantry, so that's going to be, pretty high damage sort of face-off there. Be interested. Of course, I expected Blue to get wiped out by these Hippikons, and I was dead wrong about that. So we'll see how this one goes. Because at first sight, these troops definitely look a little bit more intimidating, but, there's more to it than that. So let's see. Oh yeah, well, Blue, with that many hoplites, definitely going to be able to put a halt, a damper on these Hippikons' attack. The Toxotes there don't really do much damage to the cavalry. So in order for him to really take them out, he's going to have to slow them down. Or they can run into a tower. No, he doesn't have his towers built yet. Upgraded. He's going to have to run into the town center to actually get damaged here. He's in a good spot. I imagine he'll be able to do some damage here if he decides to take the risk, start taking those villagers out. Unless the villagers turn on them. No, and now those hoplites are definitely going to be able to put a stop to this. So he's got to make sure he stays ahead of those hoplites. Not too much going on at this frontier, though. We're looking at another Cold War, basically, because Teal's got a little army, Red's got a little army, not really doing anything. So this is everything that's going on right now is just these Hippicons trying to harass Blue. Blue is done. Blue doesn't seem to care anymore. Hippicons are gone for. I'm sure that we'll see them again, but right now, Blue just keeping his forces consolidated on the front line here. Doesn't want to get sort of pulled away and leave his flank exposed. And he'll leave these here for the future, see if he can, reintroduce those to the battle in a little while, and maybe they'll make the difference when they hit from the flank. These lumber gatherers and gold miners, protected by this watchtower, I don't think he's got a good opportunity to hit there. He'll have to come all the way around again, hit that farm most likely. This is a very fortified base as far as, harass is concerned. Lots of watchtowers, sentinels, of course. Sentinels being pretty beefy early on. Early on, we're still being in early on. I mean, with this, there's no real late game, early game, and stuff like that. I mean, there's definitely a gradient there, but it's not very clear. In this age, though, first two ages, just classical age, yeah, I think that's early game. Not super early game. And I guess if you look at it that way, you can break it up into, you can use the god powers and the advancement level to sort of determine what stage of the game we're at. So let's go on and see here. He's going to be making his move on the farms, and of course they're going to be covered by the watchtower. Not sure if he's going to be able to do any damage before that kills him. 3 of these Hippicons that he left behind to harass here are really injured, and that hoplite or Toxo could probably even kill the weakest one here, which I'm having trouble finding. There he is, 11 health. Where is he going? Alright, well this is... I don't understand what's going on here at all. Except for some lag. I understand that. Okay, well. I don't get that at all. I don't understand where that Toxotes was going. Must have been lost. Oh, and here we go. We have another battle here. Green and blue fighting it out. Blue having mostly spearmen. That's going to make a big difference here. Both of them are using archers, but the spearmen versus the Hippicon definitely puts our Blue's army at an advantage here. Now, the Hippicons wisely tried to get behind here and do some damage to the archers, but they're still mixed in with quite a few hoplites, and of course, that is just a dangerous combo. So it's one of these classic situations where Blue's composition just really efficiently counters Green's, and you're going to see a lot of Green survivors here, or Blue survivors in this battle, because he's really doing a lot of damage. Now, he's coming out here with some Toxotes. He's not going to do as good against Teal's army. Teal's army is a little bit more oriented towards damaging infantry. And even though hoplites are good against cavalry, they'll still do a pretty decent amount of damage against other hoplites. So Teal coming in here now to reinforce Green, that's going to make a difference. And even though Green is still producing these Hippicons to fight against the hoplites, these Toxotes that Teal brought in, you can see very quickly turning the battle in their favor. And it looks like Draylen has just used Ceasefire. Draylen being Green, and Green doesn't want his base getting wrecked right now. So they're going to get a chance to sort of refortify their defenses. Not that it's going to do much good here. Look at this red army coming in. Very impressive looking. You've got these raiders, you got the Herseer, the axe throwers, some giants in there. That's going to be a pretty tough army to crack. And we've got to look at this ceasefire for another 33 seconds, so another half of a minute. And that's going to be a lot longer than it sounds. Blue's forces here waiting right next to the town center. I don't imagine that 8 Hippicons, or 8 hoplites, and 2 shades is going to be enough to take that settlement, but we'll see how that goes. Might be enough to distract Green's armies, though. And look, another blue army here. These Hippicons just cannot catch a break against these spearmen. And it looks like Teal's actually moving down here to take out, to inflict some harass on his enemy red. And the ceasefire just came off. Not very opportune timing for these Teal troops who are going to get shot chock full of arrows. And red did bring his army back, so they did defuse the siege situation at least. And red wisely moving his troops away from, Death Valley over here, all those arrows and everything. But if they turn around and fight, they could potentially... Oh no, they're pretty much out of health now. They're not going to make it back, I don't think. Look at all of these hippicons that Green has just sort of lying around in the back here. He is waiting for a good moment to harass, a good flanking opportunity. I'm just not seeing any of those opportunities so far, because Blue has been very careful with his placement of his resources and his towers. You know, these guys here sort of going out of bounds, but, you know, not enough that they can't just run right back in, and then they're going to start taking damage from the archers again, from the towers. So let's take a look here. Red did get this settlement, I forgot to mention here, and Teal on this one. So you can see that these fronts here, I don't know if the mini-map's a good way to show that, but these two fronts here finally met up here. This is sort of the no man's land in this area and this area. You know, they have been a little bit more distant from the combat, so they've been able to get that advantage, you know, with the expansions and the like. Heroic Age. So, we have Teal in the Heroic Age. We'll see if he's going to get any improvements, any benefits there, unlock any new troops that are going to give him the ability, you know, to make a difference here with his, you know, his lead and advancement. Of course, Red's villagers here going to get harassed, but he better hope that army doesn't come down, because it would wipe out that harassment force, assuming it could catch it. And we got some scouts lying around here, Hippicon, little cavalry force up top. Another army being built here by Teal. He's going to have the fortress to cover his flank. That's not a bad idea at all. And then that'll give him access to some more unique troops that'll make a difference in battle as well. And now we have Red being the next unit, the next player into the Heroic Age. And, of course, like I mentioned, that little harassing force didn't really stand a chance against the whole might of Red's army. And that's all you were just seeing right there. They basically just came down here, took out the harassing force. Red being the next in line for his advancement is pretty, you know, it's not very surprising at all. And he's going to be able to be the main contender. Like I said, these two guys are pretty distant. And it looks like Red's checking out the defenses here. Sent this mountain giant in to take that settlement, but they're not having any of that. They are just destroying him. Yeah, he didn't even get to the walls. Alright, so let's take a look here. Green is now in the Heroic Age. So Blue is the only one who's behind here. The tides are turning a little bit, because he was up in Green's face before, but now his army's sort of a little bit smaller than before, and that's probably because he has it split up here to watch out for those hippicons. The upgrades on these units, the hippicons have been upgraded, and the hoplites have not. So that might actually even out the odds a little bit. But first, we got to go down here. Looks like Red is ready to take out this Teal expansion here. It's going to be army versus army. Plus, they got that settlement given some extra firepower. But let's take a look here. Is Red going to be enough? He's got a lot of upgrades here on his infantry. But the Toxotes have a lot of upgrades too. This is going to be close. Red, you know, going through the front line. Now he's back into the archers here. Those axemen going back to take out those catapults. Well, Red's forward force is dead. Huh. Not every day you see that happen. It looks like Red's melee troops wiped out Teal's melee troops, but just couldn't stand up to it once they hit the back there. Those Toxotes are doing a ton of damage in that Manticore. So it looks like they have a range superiority here. Of course, Teal is hurting for food right now. He's getting about 50 every 20 seconds, I would say, roughly. Oh no, way more than that. Way more than that. Every 5 to 10 seconds. But still, he's spending a lot of it, so he's right on the edge there. Same with Red. And of course, Red is actually, the tide has turned on Red very quickly with that battle being lost. They're going to go for that settlement now. Going to fall a lot faster than it looks once those catapults get into action. So Red better hurry up and not miss his opportunity to save that settlement. Certainly doesn't want to lose it. Alright, well here we go. They're getting up there. Red still hasn't moved any of these troops. But he is bringing back these gatherers. And looks like Green is coming in to finalize the deal here. Green is going to make sure that this settlement does not stand much longer. I'm wondering... Oh, no, there we go. Red's troops are moving now. Hopefully, Red's going to see the Green army there before he goes in, because if he sees that, he's going to reconsider really fast. Oh, maybe not. Gonna go in, try and flank these archers, and there is a fortress being constructed right there. Hippicon are good against archers, and this is mostly what red has. So unlike in the front with blue, he might actually be able to inflict some really heavy casualties here if he uses those Hippicons against those axemen. Of course, red melee troops are all dead again. They don't seem to last very long in combat, which is surprising because Herseer are generally pretty strong units. They're some of the more expensive units, actually. Some blue reinforcements are coming in here. Looks like they're going to be flanking around, trying to get in here. I'm not going to interrupt that fortress. They must be focusing right on the battle then. Going in here behind the teal army. There we go. Getting involved there a little bit. And there we go. Another mountain giant coming up here to just wreck this settlement. And doing a pretty decent amount of damage on it. Assuming that blue, teal, and green don't take it out first. And pretty sizable battle here right now. You're going to see green and teal are flanking the crap out of red's archers there, and they're pretty much all dead already. That was a very quick little skirmish there. Blue has some troops in there too, but those bronzified troops, they're gonna take quite a few more hits. So just quickly looking at the health bars here. Oh, we got saving a sync error. Game is desynced. Well, guys, thanks for watching.